I'm Toni Swinehart with MCP's Full Court Press, brought to you by Spectrum Health Ludington Hospital's Orthopedics, as well as House of Flavors Incorporated. Today we are here in front of the T-ball fields just behind McPhail Field in Scottville with Jeff Tuka, who is one of the T-ball coaches this year. So Jeff, thanks for taking time out of your day. I know that you're still probably pretty busy wrapping up the end of the year stuff. So I kind of have an idea why you got into T-ball coaching, but tell us why you did it and what prompted you to start doing that.
Certainly. Well, the history is kind of long. When Mason County Central Schools took over the rec department from the city of Scottville, I became the recreation director. So, had a lot of know-how on what the department is run like and why we do what we do. Now, I'm coaching because I have a daughter.
Right.
So you wouldn't be able to rope me into that if I didn't have a daughter that was playing. But, I'm also helping out with 3rd and 4th grade girls softball because I have an older daughter. Okay. So kind of the assistant for that and kind of the head with a lot of help at the T-ball level. So,
okay.
You had mentioned we're in back of McPhail and just remember these things like when you and I were kids. Like there's great memories down here of our baseball, softball, T-ball, and fast pitch softball that have been here just for decades and decades. Yeah. And, I do have a daughter and my wife helps me with some of the organization with that and my sister-in-law, but it's also a way to give back. I mean, we want these kids to be able to play. It's summertime and it's a lot of fun for kids, parents, and grandparents.
Well, and it's a lot different from last year.
It is.
Because you're actually able to do a lot more things and actually have games and that's kind of nice too. That's a better aspect because it's more of a normal. It's like back to a little bit of normalcy.
Yeah. So last week when we had our first T-ball game, which was last week, Monday, that was the thing that stuck out in my mind was just to kind of look around and you saw kids because we had to have masks until the very last moment in school. And so these games were going on the last week of school. And, kids that didn't have to wear masks, because that mitigation outdoors had been lifted and parents and grandparents together cheering on these kids. I mean, it felt as close to normal as it could possibly be. I mean, you could tell people were really happy to gather and to watch their grandkids, and it was all safe because it was outside. It just felt very, very festive, and I hadn't felt that feeling in a long time. And the kids were so happy that one of our kids was playing first base out here, and they said to the base coach on the other team, "I'm having so much fun," and so we don't realize how it affects these, especially the T-ball ones, 5 and 6 year olds, preschool to 2nd grade kids, and and the older ones too, because this program goes all the way up to the middle school level. So it's just great to have it back. It's really good for our kids, but it's good for us adults too. It's healthy. It's good for the mental health. Yes,
that's what I was going to say. It's nice that people are able to take deep breaths a little bit more, and like you said, mental health. And I coached T-ball for a lot of years with both of my kids. And then even after both of them were out of it, I did it, I think, 2 more years. It was so much fun seeing the excitement on their faces when they hit the ball or when they got an out and it's such an enjoyment. So what is your take on that part of it? Like, is that enjoyment for you as well?
It is. The only thing that scares me is sometimes, the real little ones don't pay attention. I worry about somebody getting hurt. I'm okay with the occasional dandelion picking and that, but I really worry about somebody getting hit with the ball. But it's like you said, they like to, play the game. They like to get dirty. They like to be with their friends. And remember, because of what was going on in school, these elementary kids were in cohorts where they were with the same 20 to 25 kids all day long, even at recess and lunch. So now they get to interact with everybody else. Yes. And see the friends that they had in the previous grade level and see their faces and that's just, it's just really fun to see how much fun it is for them. And again, just to see like the parents, the grandparents smiling and cheering loudly when somebody makes a good play or gets a hit and the kid jumps up and down and that. So, I worry about sometimes just the not paying attention and safety, but that's all negated by how much fun everybody's having.
Right. Well, and you know what, to be honest, I think one of my first years, I remember my parents also coached for many years, and I was always getting yelled at I was one of the dandelion pickers in the outfield, and you got it, and you're trying to keep them engaged and trying to. So, and I also know that sometimes the pitcher's mound is a hot spot sometimes. And it's hard because, all the kids want to play that spot.
Oh, sure.
So how do you kind of maneuver around that?
Well, same thing as safety first. I
Right.
mean, we have, for instance, my daughter's in kindergarten. She didn't play as a preschooler because we didn't have it.
Right.
So, she's played pitcher one time, but we made her go to the very back of the circle instead of right on the pitching rubber.
Okay.
And we try to give everybody an equal shot there. But again, if somebody's not quite ready,
Yeah.
they're small for their age or something
Right.
like that, we wouldn't like to get them hurt. But we do our best to mix up the positions. We got to remember this is T-ball.
Yes.
We want to expose them to everything,
Mhm.
but at the same time, not embarrassing. If they have a
Yes.
hard time catching the baseball, first base isn't the ideal spot because they're going to get it thrown to them, with a 5-run rule in an inning.
Right.
Yeah, it could be 15 times, and we don't want them to not like it either.
Right.
So there's what
Right.
is your comfort level? And you just very upfront with the kids and the parents about that this is safety or for sheer embarrassment. But we want them to get exposed to all the positions, infield,
Right.
outfield. Put on the big catcher's mask and helmet that doesn't fit and,
Right.
and get behind the plate and put it on the tee.
Yes.
But again, that's all in the fun. And,
Yeah.
we've got, I think, about 6 games left for each team,
Okay.
which it ends before the 4th of July. That's
Yeah.
for T-ball. For the baseball and softball, it goes about till mid-July.
Okay.
And the softball for the girls couples with Ludington Rec too. So we're able to
Okay.
play Ludington and Custer teams for the girls softball. And,
Okay.
we get them through a good season, and we have volunteers for that stuff too. We have high school kids that umpire. We have some adults that umpire, and Jim Bowen is our director here in Scottville.
Right.
So, it's a nice program, and we're just glad to have it back after having a year off.
Yes. Yes. And there are some boys that just finished, the 8th grade boys just finished last night with Coach Travis O'Hara.
Yeah, that was the travel team. Yep.
That was the travel.
Mhm.
So do you think with the Scottville Rec, the baseball, that hasn't quite started yet, or has that started as well?
I'm not sure at that middle school level if they've started yet or not.
Okay.
But again, that's one that we couple with Ludington Rec for.
Okay.
So that league is, we used to call it the West Shore League, and I'm not sure if they've kept that name to it or not. But, that has to do with a number of schools in West Michigan. So Hart and
Okay.
Shelby have been involved with that, Pentwater, Custer. Years ago, Free Soil was in on that too, and then we'd have a number of Scottville teams. So I'm not sure if they've began that yet because
Okay.
of the travel ball stuff, but I do
Right.
know that if they haven't, it would be right about now because they usually get done about mid-July.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, thank you again for your time.
I
Good luck for
appreciate
the
it.
rest of your season.
Thank you.
And actually softball as well as T-ball, so that's wonderful. And so I appreciate, you taking time out of your day, like I said. And for more news, go to MasonCountyPress.com.